Vicious, but brilliant! I don't believe it! I swear I do not believe it! And they are back on terms!
Hello and welcome to the Rotherham United podcast. We have a review and preview show, as seems to be every week nowadays. We're looking back at a 2-1 defeat to Cardiff and ahead to a big and important game, but a tough game as well at home to QPR on Saturday coming on, 13th of February it'll be. Mixed with us as always.
Hello.
And Ben has made a return. Ben, we got questions asking on the post-match live show on Tuesday night. Where's Ben? People were missing you, man.
I was elsewhere. I had other... what's the word?
Let's just tell people the truth. You were asleep.
Yeah, well, I wasn't asleep. I was in bed. I was doing something else until very late, and I was very tired, so I just went to bed.
Okay. Lack of commitments. That's all I'm hearing. All I can hear is I don't care. But just to clarify for everybody, I assume you watched the game.
Yeah, apart from the last 20 minutes. Yeah. Oh. I saw a lot of it.
You saw the important parts, mate, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. So, anybody that didn't know, it was a 2-1 defeat at home to Cardiff. We went 1-0 down to Shale after a poor bit of defending. Matt Crooks then equalised in semi-early on in the second half. And also then they scored a very late-ish goal from Joe Bennett, I think, scored the goal there. Before we get into the more details, anybody that's watching on YouTube and you haven't subscribed already, please click the subscribe button. It's in the bottom right of your screen. If you listen to this through iTunes, Spotify, whatever, get on over to YouTube and subscribe there. We're building up some stuff. We're nearly 125 followers on subscribers on YouTube. So thank you to everybody who's already subscribed. And please do, if you haven't already. We would really, really appreciate that. I'm right in saying that if you're watching YouTube, the little YouTube sign at the bottom of the screen, they can just click on to subscribe.
Down there, if you're watching on YouTube, down there in the bottom right.
Fantastic.
You can click on it while you're watching.
Ben, me and Mick had a lengthy conversation about the referee on Tuesday night, Mr. Eltringham. I also had another podcast on Wednesday night and I had a long and lengthy chat about refereeing in general, and I use it as an example of lack of quality of refereeing. We could spend the next 45 minutes talking about the referee, to be honest with you, but we're not. Ben, as brief as you can, your thoughts on his overall performance and the big incidents.
I thought he played well.
What?
I don't really play well. That was just an.
Did you watch the game?
Yeah, that was just an awful pylons. I was connected by something else. I don't think he played well. I think he was a championship referee. I think some of the big incidents, obviously, I don't know, people, I don't agree with I don't agree with Mick on some of the decisions, or some of the opinions on the decisions. I agree he made some howlers, but I think there were some big decisions that overreacted. But I thought he played awful. The Smith push in the back.
Mate.
Smith is a 6'5" guy, right? I don't know how much he weighs. Probably over 80 kg, easy, 90 kg, right? I know he's in the air. He's milked it. He's gone for the foul. I understand it probably is a foul, but he's played for the foul. And that's just, that's what, you don't play football for the fouls. I've never understood this, because when you play football, right, you enjoy playing football. You just want to play football. Winning fouls and taking set pieces is not playing football. Taking free kicks is not playing football. It's taking a free kick. You're not playing playing the game, are you? So I think he's milked it and he didn't get it. I think there was obviously contact, but if it was it a substantial push, it's hard to tell, really, in my opinion.
Okay. I mean, to take on one point, Ben, the whole point of if you're playing the championship, you're not playing because you love football. Not only because of that, you're playing because you want to win and you know how to win, and winning is the most important thing at championship level. There was contact, and there was a significant amount of contact for him to fall over, to certainly knock him off balance. Was there enough to make him fall over? Possibly not, but if he doesn't fall over, he ain't getting anything. he's got to ever so slightly exaggerate, and exaggerate's not the right word because that sounds like he's throwing himself to the ground. He's got to let the referee know there's been contact, because if he doesn't, then it doesn't do it. But for me, it's a nailed on, clear as day penalty.
I don't know. I don't agree with that, but there's different opinions.
Okay, fair enough.
I understand.
I'm going to move on.
All I'm going to say was I do understand where Ben's coming from, because buying free kicks is not part of the game. And had that been Ben Wiles on the edge of the box, I might be having some thoughts along the lines that Ben's having, because Ben Wiles has started to try and look for the fouls and draw the foul, if you like, and everything else. And I don't agree with it, and I don't like it. Smithy's not that. Smithy doesn't do that. The form that Smithy is on at the moment, when he chests the ball down, it stays chested and he gets control of it. And that ball, you know what I mean? If he's able to control that ball in that position, he's in a very, very good position, in a very dangerous position, particularly bearing in mind how tight the player is to him. So for me personally, I don't think I've seen as blatant a foul not given for as long as I can remember.
Since we played QPR last time, or
well, yeah. I mean, that's my view. It was just, and I've watched it, and I've watched it far too many times. I need to stop because it just annoys me every time I watch it. Yeah. So for me, I'm not with Ben on this one. I'm with him in terms of I don't like people buying fouls. It's not part of the game. It's not. Otherwise, if it were, it'd be in rules. But I don't think that applies on this occasion, in my view. I think the referee bottled it because he knew it was a penalty. He knew it was in the area, and he bottled it. But as has been pointed out, he bottled every single penalty decision, and there were more penalties. There should have been more penalties there were more penalty decisions to be made in this. More obvious penalty decisions to be made in this game than there were in the last game that he made, where he just straight away pointed to the spot because we've got an ex-Premier League club and one of their players throws himself on floor unnecessarily, cheating, because that wasn't a penalty.
Which game?
The Bournemouth game.
Okay.
No way on this earth was that a penalty. And if it was, there must have been 7 or 8 at least on Tuesday night. Yeah. So it's about consistency, isn't it? And I am not going to buy any excuse that Geoff Eltringham could ever possibly come up with for not giving that. I'm not buying it because we've seen what he does give.
Yeah. Have you listened to Warney's interview, which was recorded on Thursday? You heard his interview with Radio Sheffield?
No, I haven't. I know that he's criticised the referee.
Very, very interesting. He talks about trying to get answers from referees and how difficult it is to get answers from referees. He sort of said along the lines of, I asked, I always couldn't have pitched a referee several times. He'll sort of say, well, watch that, says the referee, I'll watch that back and come back to me, and I'll watch it back and I'll come back to you. But there's no dialogue. There's not an option for Warney to ring the referee, because referees obviously won't get the numbers out. To the referee, just for Warney to go, because what Warney's like, he's very honest. Yeah. If Warney it's a penalty at time and watches it back, in next pre-match interview, he will mention the fact that it then wasn't a penalty, or wasn't this, or wasn't that. Yeah. And to be fair to a lot of professional managers, they may come across all gruff and this, that, and other in public, like Mick McCarthy, for example. Yeah. But behind closed doors, he clearly is a nice guy. Otherwise, people wouldn't employ him.
No.
So behind closed doors, why can't they be having these conversations with the referee? He said that what happens is you raise a complaint in part of the post-match report, and then 4 weeks later or whatever it is, you'll get an email or whatever from the referees saying, yes, this decision was incorrect, it should have been a penalty. And that's the end of it. Like, great. That's 4 weeks since, and we didn't get penalty, so we've lost the game. And you know what I mean? Yeah. It seems a completely backwards way of doing things, and it's the EFL.
the EFL will not have any dialogue with anybody.
Oh, this is the PGMOL, isn't it? This is the
Yeah,
professional.
but they're appointed by EFL, aren't they? The referees to the games. I mean, they're appointed to the games by the EFL.
I'm not sure.
Either way,
either
way, there has to be some dialogue. There has to be, because what it means is that if there's no dialogue, if it's not a two-way conversation, they're never going to learn from the mistakes.
Yeah, and that's what it said in it was said in the interview. These referees should be wanting to learn from their mistakes because they're professionals. Much like Warney wants to learn from his mistakes.
The thing is, the championship, right? Refereeing is not. It's a hard job, but if you work at it and practice it, it's not hard to get to the top of it. So these referees clearly don't really care. They're just doing it for an easy way of money. So why would they want to get better? That's why they're in the Championship and not in the Premier League. If you're a young ref, 20, 24 years old, whatever a young ref is classed as nowadays, I don't know, age. If he's a young ref trying to make it to Premier League, fair enough, he'll try and learn. But if he's 30, 40 odd just trying to get a wage, there's a reason he's not in Premier League because he just goes every Saturday to get a paycheck. Do you know what I mean? So I think that's why they don't care, because they're just there to get a paycheck, not there because they love it. Who loves refereeing? You know what I mean? Who goes up and goes, I want to be a referee when I'm older? No, mate, you're a failed footballer. That's what it is, isn't it? Name one kid, you go, I want to be a referee when I'm older. I want to get yelled at by 12,000 people every week. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
that's why.
But there's some good. I talked about this on the Northern Monkeys show last night, and I said when we came up to champion last time, we go through a series of crap referees, and then we get relegated. And we have some bad referees in League One, but actually at times in League One there was some okay refereeing performances.
Yeah.
Games where I didn't come out of the game and go, "Oh my God, the referee was rubbish." If I don't notice the referee, perfect. But in the chat, we've come back up, so 2 years later, and we're still getting recycled the same old crap from the same old people who, Ben says, are clearly not good enough for the Premier League, but want to do it professional. I've seen no progression. I have seen no thought of process. It's just completely stagnated the quality of refereeing.
This is the problem, because people in League One, referees in League One, want to make it professional. So they're working hard, getting better and trying to get better and learn from the mistakes.
Most of them. Unless
Trevor Kettle and the odd one, like you say. But that's why they're trying to improve the game, get better, make mistakes, have the bottle, try and get up. So when you get to that championship level, right, I'm sure it's not hundreds of thousands a week, but I bet it's enough to provide for your family. And I bet it's enough. I bet your wife probably don't have to work, and you could afford to raise a few kids on it, right? And just referee a game, right? Referee a game that you probably love, right? It's not. Do you know what I mean? You're not going out in coal mines for 12 hours a day with no food or water, are you? Do you know what I mean? And that's why, because they get happy at that stage. I don't think I've ever seen a referee demoted. It must be incredibly hard because everyone's crap at it. So it must be incredibly hard. So you just sit there and stew and probably do nothing all week. Probably do nothing all week. Don't do anything. Go on a Saturday, go and get a paycheck and go home. That's why.
The bottom line with it is, and you're absolutely right, both of you there, I have no problem with referees making mistakes. I accept that they do. And you know, at New York Stadium on a Saturday afternoon when one makes a mistake, I'll shout at him. But the reality of it is we all understand that mistakes are made. It's a very, very difficult job. There's no doubt about it. I'm not decrying how hard a job it is whatsoever. It must be incredibly difficult because you're not as fit as these players that you're chasing around a pitch for 90 minutes. You know, and they get a rest, you don't.
I disagree with that. If you're not as fit, make yourself as fit. It's not a hard job.
These are old people. Some of these are 40 and 50 years old. They're not trying to keep up with a 21-year-old Ogbene type.
But the point,
you don't have to keep. You know what I mean? They're not doing 40-yard dash next to them with camera in their hand. Do you know what I mean? They're just trying to keep it middle at pitch.
Yeah, they are. But the bottom line with it is I mean, the fitness side of it is not necessarily an issue. I don't think the fitness side of it is why these things are happening. No. This is all about having balls. It's all about having bottle. And all these mistakes that we're talking about from the other night and the Swansea game and all the other games that we've looked at, you know, and talked about wherever the referee has come up, it's never been about a genuine mistake because as far as I'm concerned, Ben might disagree. That penalty shout on Smith is not a mistake. It is not a mistake. It can't be a mistake. He's not saying he hasn't seen it. He can't say he hasn't seen it because he's looking directly at it.
He did say he didn't see it.
Right. So that's
well, I don't know which penalty incident he's referring to, but he told Warney that in Warney's interview today, he told Warney that he didn't see a penalty.
This is the problem when you don't study or do anything all week, and you don't care about your job, don't care about anything. If you're a good referee, you'll try and study where, teams play, how they play, so you can try and find ways to see the play. Do you know what I mean? Like trying what formation they play and stuff like that, so where you can position yourself to see the ball and see clear things, right? You don't. He's clearly not done that, and I don't know why he's not in the right position because it's all he does for a living.
He is in the right position.
Well, this is the problem, isn't it? Because he's either not in the wrong position, which is on him and unacceptable because it's his job to be in the right position, or he's lying because he's got no bottle, which is again unacceptable. The thing is, right, I'm a big NFL fan. I might have said that before, right? The referees in that game, they have 4 or 5, but the consequences are so harsh, and they don't bottle it. They give it. Do you know what I mean? They don't hesitate. If they see a foul, they'll see a foul. They don't care what game it is. Do you know what I mean? And I think that's where football lacks, because there's no harsh punishments like diving, right? There's no harsh punishment for that. You know what I mean? It's either this one or it's a foul. You get the foul. There's no punishment. There's no yellow card, no red card for simulation like there should be in the rules. Referees don't give it. It's embarrassing. Referees need to step up, man, because they're clearly not working hard enough. It's just simple.
Yeah, we're talking about this a lot. Final point, Mick, before we move on, if you want one.
Yeah, all I'm going to say is the referee has definitely seen that. No question about it. He has seen it. And if he hasn't seen it, then he needs to have a look at himself, like Ben's just said there, because all he's got to do is look at where the ball is and where the ball's going and where the players are. And if the referee hasn't seen it, then the linesman stood 12 yards away, looking directly along that line, or should be, for his offside, unless he's on his phone, which he were for rest at match. No, unacceptable. One of the worst refereeing performances I have seen at New York, probably since Trevor Kettle, and that is saying something. And I'm not saying that tongue in cheek. I genuinely mean that. And it was for both sides. I accept. Having looked at it back, there's 2 very good penalty shouts for Cardiff as well, which weren't given. There's a foul on Woody, which is not given. There's a foul on Ihekwe at the same time as there's a foul on Woody, which is given as a foul against Ihekwe. And there's a very, very strong argument for the handball that Will Volks made in the back end of the game, although I have no issue with the referee not giving that, because he's in the right position that he should be in and he can't see because of the position of Volks' body, but it's handball. Dreadful performance. Hang your head in shame, Geoff Eltringham, because that was as bad as I have seen. And when you're being compared to Trevor Kettle, then you know it's time to hang your boots up, fella.
Yeah, and we're not trying to vilify referees. We accept they're doing a hard job. You see what's happened to Mike Dean over the past week or so, and we're not going down that route of saying anything else that's bad. That's terrible what's happened in terms of Mike Dean's family being threatened and what X, Y, and Z. And I know we talk about referees a lot, and we know they've got a tough job, but I feel like it's also important to call them out when there's incompetent displays. At the same time,
it's only a tough job if you make it a tough job. It's
tough job anyway, referee.
If you look at it,
it's hard.
It's a hard job.
Move on.
I know. I'm just saying that's the thing. If it's a hard job, if it's your profession, if it's your work, if it's your purpose, if it's what feeds your family, feeds you, what gets you in the bed out of the morning, don't make it hard. Make it simple. All you have to do is be in the right position. Be in the right position and make sure your linesman doing the job, and that's it. The rest, if you're good at what you do, the rest will come. Just be in the right position. You know what I mean?
It's a hard job.
If you make it hard, yeah.
You missed strap a pair on there as well, Ben. But other than that,
that as well. So moving on to Axel Miller's performance. The first half was a pretty good performance, but although take away the goal, which we'll come to in a second, it was a solid. We made enough chances. We should have gone in at least level, taking away the penalty instance. We should have gone away level based on the chances we created.
Yeah. Go on.
Go on,
Anyway.
mate.
I'm going to get caught out being negative, but their first goal is inexcusable.
Yeah, but we'll come on to that in a second. 'Cause I agree. But talk about our positive play first of all.
They were good. Yeah, our goal was just wow. Do you know what I mean? It's not like it weren't Barcelona tiki-taka, but it's what we've been missing for about 10 years. A good, solid striking partnership. I know Crooks is obviously not a striker, but I'm a young lad. I don't remember a partnership like that. Obviously, we had Alfie. I don't really think anyone went with him.
Not contribute with goals as well. Pope helped him a lot, but he didn't contribute with the goals, did he?
Yeah, I think this partnership, if he can keep it together, it will get us far in this league.
It harks back to the Ronnie Moore-Rodney Fern partnership of the 80s. Very similar, I guess. Not, I mean, very different players. But Rodney Fern, for me, in my memory, wasn't actually an out-and-out striker. But boy, was he a finisher. It was more, for me, he was more of a number 10 than a striker. But it was perfect foil for Ronnie Moore. Just like Crooks is the perfect foil for Smithy at the moment. So it's as good a partnership as I've seen since then, probably up front. And they're producing the goods. They've got to produce it a lot longer to be up there with Ronnie and Rodney Fern, but a lot longer. But nevertheless, you know, it's that kind of relationship for me.
Yeah, I agree. They just seem to have clicked. I said they just seem to have clicked. It was similar to this towards the end of the last championship season. We saw bits of it last season, but we played two up top a lot last year. So we didn't necessarily see this side of Crooks. Although Crooks had a fantastic season last year, we didn't see this side of his game as much. And like I said, they just seem to fit perfectly together. It's really enjoyable to watch. In the first half, when Smith takes the ball down, you've got Crooks making a run, or when Crooks is bombing forward, you've got Smith making a run into dangerous areas. It just makes them think. We've talked about this a lot. When Smith's on his top, he's fine, he's decent because he'll occupy the defence. But then if you don't have somebody else running on, it's fine. It's just holding the ball up for in the hole, he joins him. Whereas at the minute, if Smith holds that ball up, he knows for a fact that Crooks is going to be there in the right place, making the right run at the right time. Yeah, and that would be terrifying for defenders. Crooks has been nominated for Player of the Month for January for the EFL. He won the award for the EFL paper, I think it was. I haven't got the tweet in front of me, but he won the Player of the Month for the Championship. He probably won't win it for the EFL because why would the EFL award us anything? Ivan Toney's had a very good month, so I suspect he'll win that award. We'll wait and see.
Plays for Brentford as well, who are absolutely the best team in the history of mankind, aren't they? So,
Lewis Wing, Ben. I know we talk about Smith and Crooks, but that pass from Lewis Wing, the timing and the way to the pass from Wing to Smith was very, very good. I'm not going to say it's the best pass ever, but it was a very clever pass.
Yeah, I think that's what he's going to bring this season. That rhymes, wing and bring. But yeah, I think that's what he's probably going to bring. Obviously, Barlas can pick a pass. I think he's a mix between Wiles and Barlas. Like he can pick a pass, very good, but he can also attack a little bit. I think made a few mistakes in the first half, but like you said, we'll come on to that. I think he was maybe at fault, but the pass was good. Good vision. I think that's probably again what we've missed. I've had Barlas, but we haven't had that like Xavi type player picking out in the final third. Barlas is not going to do that. He's just going to ping them about like Busquets. You know what I mean? Very different. I think Wing is a Barlas, a further forward Barlas. Yeah, that makes sense. He's not going to play out to your fullback.
Yeah, you can also criticise Barlas of rushing the pass a little bit. He'll see Hollywood ball and think, I've got to go for this, and he'll ping it across pitch. It doesn't always work. Wing has that presence of mind to think it might take half a second more, but it is genuinely half a second. The Preston goal is a perfect example of just taking that little bit of time. It's about recognising that you've got that time and then taking the time that you've got and looking at what your options were. And that was the same with the pass to Smith. He had that half a second just to see what was available and slide it through. If we're being very critical for Barlaser, that's something he could work on. But that's not taking the fact that Barles is one of the best players we've got. So that is being ultra critical, obviously. But I mean, yeah, two and a bit games in, I'm a massive fan of Wings so far. It could be very, very important for us over the next month or two, assuming he stays fit. Another thing from Warner's conference today is that Chio will be back in training in a month or so, back in full training with the first team within around 4 weeks, which is about 4 weeks less than we were told initially. So although it's below Lewis and Lindsay for 8 weeks, if anybody's missed that, Lindsay's out for 8 weeks, it's a bit of a positive that Chio back probably much sooner than was first anticipated.
Yeah, fingers crossed.
Yeah. Now on to some defensive issues. Well, not going to be too negative because the game's gone, but the first goal in particular was not very good. I know we're attacking Mick, and I know we're trying to get forward, but in whatever it was, the 30-something minute, to leave nobody on the halfway line, well, it's bizarre.
Yeah, it is. It is. There were obviously a bit of a rush of blood to everybody's head, weren't there? And we got punished for it, and you will get punished for it in this division particularly. So, listen, we've got to learn from that. It was poor. It was poor. There's no other word for it, really. What else can you say? Shouldn't have done it. It's a schoolboy error, isn't it?
Go on, man.
I think Robertson's made a mistake coming forward. Like I said, schoolboy error. Maybe it's his match sharpness. Like I said, we were out for 4 or 5 months, whatever it was, a long time. He's going to have a mistake in him. To leave Barlas back, I could beat him in a 40-yard race and then sit down and have a cup of tea before he gets to the finish line. So I don't mind leaving him back. It's the best option. Obviously, all the Sundays there. But I think Wing has got to realise the position that we're in. We've got Barlasser, Sunday and Robertson back, right? 3 players, right? I don't know why he's turning into the middle of the pitch where there's the most players, the most congested area of the field. I'm not going to say I'm a professional footballer, but I think he's got to be aware of his surroundings. But yeah, they'll learn from it. If they'll learn from it, others should learn from it.
Yes, I agree. And then the second goal was Wes Harding had an okay first half, but quite a poor second half, Mick. And it wasn't even taking away the goal. He's on the ball. I mean, he wasn't on his own when the snow came down, but he just seemed to have. For all his good performances, it was probably his worst in a Miller shirt so far. That 45 minutes
looks tired to me. It looks tired. I might be looking to give him a rest. It's been immense for us, and yeah, he should have tracked the run, but it's difficult. It's difficult because he's playing along the line of the defenders, as you know, and that run comes from really deep, which is how he managed to stay onside. So I guess I am defending him up to a point, but he's got to spot the run and he's got to stop the run, even if it's running across the player, and he just didn't even spot the run. So yeah, I think you've got to blame him for that, really. It is down to him, but like I say, I don't think he looks tired. I think he's due a game on bench, frankly.
One thing
then you go on.
No, obviously I'm not going to. Obviously, I've been very critical, but obviously he made a mistake. It's right back. He's a Championship player, he's not a Premier League player for a reason. He's going to make mistakes. One thing that I did see was his body language after. I don't know if he's screaming at the linesman or his players. If he's screaming at the linesman, he needs to get a grip of himself. Because
I think it were a bit desperate. I think he sort of realised he'd made a mistake and thought, I hope this is offside.
Yeah, exactly. Why you made a mistake, so you're going to yell at the linesman. It's not your job to let your linesman. You get on with your job and you let your manager and captain talk to the referees. No one else's job to talk to the referees. It's not, though, is it? It's not. It shouldn't be, no. So, get a grip and just learn. I have no problem. Don't sit down and go, referee, it's offside, please. You made a mistake. Stop yelling, get a grip, go and defend next one.
I think it was more hopeful.
It puts that... And this is true. It puts that seed of doubt in the linesman's head. Yeah, a lesser linesman would have given in and given that, and that's why players do it.
That's why you play football, though. to get cheated
That's
wins.
relevant. It's about winning. It's about winning.
If you really love the game and you have any respect in yourself, you wouldn't have done that.
You've been ridiculous.
Because if you respect the game and you respect yourself, you haven't won. You haven't done anything or contributed to win. You've cheated yourself to a win. If you feel good about that, then you play wrong sport. You play wrong sport.
Is it right?
No, it's because you don't understand it. If you're playing a game, right, you should feel like you're doing everything you can from yourself to contribute to a win. If you feel good about cheating or winning, right, then
asking for offside is not cheating.
Like you said, putting doubt in the linesman's head. That's not playing football, is it? That's mind games, trying to cheat yourself into a win. Because if he does give the offside, it's not offside. Therefore, we've just cheated.
The bottom line is with the officials from the other night, he could have been stood in an offside position, waving a flag that said "I'm offside," and he still wouldn't have get it. So, but I mean, it's just born out of frustration, that appeal there. It was clearly onside. It was a cracking run, a good delivery, and Wes Harding should have dealt with it better than he did. It is what it is. We're playing Mick McCarthy, aren't we? We're playing a Mick McCarthy side, which is what we said in the live show, live post-match. You know what you're going to get from a Mick McCarthy side. You're going to get balls in air. You're going to get strong and physical, with a little bit of quality occasionally. We got done.
Yeah, it's the type of team we struggle against. Birmingham under Monk was similar to that, very aggressive, and we always struggled against them. And there's other teams as well. We do struggle against teams that are similar to us in terms of physicality, but are better at it. Yeah. And that's what you saw in Tuesday night. In a lot of the areas, they were much more physical from us. We didn't really look a threat from set pieces up until the very last one of the night, which caused complete mayhem, which takes a threat from our side. We didn't deal with conditions either. When it started snowing, Ben, first of all, I couldn't see the ball. But as soon as the conditions changed, we didn't adapt, and Cardiff did, didn't they?
Yeah. I think that's clutching at straws a little bit, but yeah.
What?
I think it's we didn't adapt to the weather. It's England, but yeah, I agree. I think it was poor from us tonight.
It was. We should have adapted, and we didn't.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, I'm not saying we should have caught game. I'm just saying Cardiff did well to adapt to the conditions.
Yeah.
Whereas we didn't do enough. I think Giles is a perfect example. As soon as Giles came on and the snow started coming down, it looked like he'd never seen snow before. He looked like he didn't quite know what was going on.
It's because his tactic is just to knock it out and just run his legs as fast as he can into the ground. He's just going to fall over and hit his face on the ground.
He's a young lad. He probably wants to build a snowman.
Yeah. And the control issue. It's much more difficult to control the ball in the snow than it is in normal conditions. Which didn't help. So I think, just very, very briefly, a couple of word answers. How positive are you from that performance, not the result, Mick Tart?
We're going to have some bad performances. We've had two on trot now. We won a game at Preston, which I said bad performances, not to the level that we've been at. We won that game. We were really just lucky we won that game. We tried to ride his luck the other night because they wouldn't let us play our game. We were the only team that wanted to play football. They were interested in getting the ball down and playing football. I am not criticising them in any way at all. It's just, we weren't able to play our normal high pressing game because the ball were in air. So if we can get back to playing the game that we're good at, and QPR, for me, look like a side who are going to try and play the ball around. They've got players that can put the ball on the deck and play it. That plays into our hands. That plays to our strengths for me. So yeah, I'm not down. I'm not down about it all. We've already got 6 points out of February. Get another 6, and I'll be happy at end of February if we come away with 12 points.
Yeah, so, I agree. Well, Ben, it's one of those things. We won one, lost one, so it feels bad that we lost one. But would you prefer to win one, lost one than drawn 2?
Yeah, right. That's the that thing as well. And winning games, we're not playing as well what champions do. So to do that when you're down, there's exception.
Could not agree more. Briefly ahead to the QPR game. QPR was Paul Warne's first managerial win was against QPR.
1-0.
1-0. I didn't write down who scored actually. So if either you two can remember who scored,
nah,
lovely.
Have we played QPR before?
Well, they have. Now you mentioned it's a 20th meeting between the two clubs.
Right. Okay.
So it's not as many as some other clubs where we think we played 80 against Swansea, didn't we? So this is quite a low amount of time. They've been in Premier League for a lot of that, weren't they? So
Yeah.
we are unbeaten. This QPR are on a very, very, very good bit of reform. They've won 4 of the last 5. They're unbeaten in the last 6 away games, winning 3 in a row away from home. We are unbeaten the last 2 home games against QPR. This bottom of the table, Mick, has got ridiculous. There's now 8 points between second, bottom, and 12th.
Yeah.
I checked the form table earlier, and Forest are 3rd in the form table, QPR are 4th, Wednesday are 5th, and we're 9th.
Yeah.
How?
It's just how it is at the moment, isn't it? It's who holds their nerve from now on for the next few games, because somebody won't and somebody will start to get cut adrift. Birmingham probably will be that team, I suspect, and then it's a question of who's having that last place. And it ain't us. It ain't going to be us. I'm telling you now, it ain't going to be us. We have got everything that we need to keep us out of this. Keep us out of that third bottom spot, second bottom spot. No question in my mind. But yeah, it is a bit daft at the minute, isn't it?
Yeah. Ben, for me, it's vital that Tuesday doesn't have too much of an impact on the confidence and performances. We've got to get back straight, like we did against Swansea. We lost to Swansea, but then straight away against Derby, we were back at it. It's massive that we get back to the same level of performances before, isn't it?
Yeah, I think we will as well. We played QPR last time. They had that one play with it, and that's it. They were one man show, weren't they? So I think we will. I think Warner will use it. You know, he's obviously a smart man. He's got a job in football manager. It's not an easy job to get, is it? Football manager. So he clearly knows what he's doing. So yeah, I agree.
Yeah, they have improved in January by bringing Charlie Austin, who has scored a lot of goals for him.
Charlie Austin.
Yeah.
Going back there, he was there.
Yeah.
At the start, weren't he?
Yes.
Wow. Why did he go QPR?
Has Bright Samuel already gone?
Yes, there's a bit of match, yeah.
Is it a player, Charlie Austin? Why?
He's old though, isn't he now?
Nothing wrong with that.
Still bang him in there.
He knows we're back in it isn't championship, and that's a bit of a worry from us. Their run has coincided with January, so the odd signing that they've made has now pushed them into a pretty good position in terms of recent form. But at the same time, they needed it. If they hadn't won 4 of their last 5, they'd be at relegation zone.
Yeah.
With how the form's shaping up. And it's the same with us. If we wouldn't have gone on a good run, we could have potentially been cut adrift.
Yeah.
Not as bad as Wickham, but we could have been cut adrift. Piggies are exactly the same. They could and should have been cut adrift by now, but they're picking up some results in places where they shouldn't do. Obviously, they beat Bournemouth, which meant they sacked their manager, and we're going to play Bournemouth just in time for them to have their new manager bounce, much like with Cardiff.
Yeah.
We need a bit of luck, and we're not getting, in terms of when we're playing teams, we're not getting that luck. QPR, and I don't think we'll get luck with Bournemouth, but who knows with that. Ben, would you, in terms of who you're picking for Saturday, are you going unchanged?
Yeah. Yeah.
Are you going to say yeah, and then I'm going to say something, you're going to change your mind again? You all right, mate?
Yeah, I just scraped my elbow. Yeah, I'd leave it unchanged. I don't think you really can change it. Obviously, Sadler we won't bench, but we're going to bring him in for. So yeah, I'd leave it unchanged.
You'd only bring Sadler in for probably Crooks, wouldn't you? And Sadler would have to play as a 10. But it gives you a hell of an option. You know, if Crooks does start looking tired on our mark, Mick, on Saturday, to bring Sadler as a 10 is not a bad option, is it?
Yeah, I mean, Warney said in his press conference on Thursday that he's not Sadler's not ready for a start yet, but he could well make an impact off the bench. I might change it. I might give Wes Harding a rest. Play young Giles at left back.
Can you play Giles and Sunday at the same team though?
It's big risk, that, isn't it?
Very big risk.
3 very, very good central defenders there. You're going to have Woody's going to be tied up. Going to stuff Charlie Austin in his pocket, and once he's got that sorted, we'll be all right, I think. Yeah, it is a risk. It is a risk, but the players know what their jobs are.
Mm.
You know, so if Giles was bombing on, all of a sudden he's got to stay back. If all of a sudden he goes bombing on, somebody's got to keep Giles on the leash. And who better than Clark Robertson to do that?
Yeah, true.
Because you'll only not do as you're told with Clark once, won't you?
Yeah, I know he made a mistake for the first goal, Clark Robertson, but I'm still enjoying him being back. That back three it doesn't look amazing, but it's looking pretty solid. And yeah, there's a lot of positives. Even though we lost the game, there's still a lot of positive take forward. I don't think Saturday's as big a game as what some people are making it out. Some people are making it the be all and end all. QPR are in a hell of a run of form. You've got to bear that in mind when you come into games like this. It's obviously vitally important what form people are in. If we lose,
they came though, weren't they?
Yeah. The couple of fixtures after this are tough though. You've got Bournemouth away on Wednesday night, live on Sky, yay. And then Norwich the following Saturday. So we do come into a couple of games, but neither of them are in very good form. We're playing QPR who are near us, who are in one of the best form in the league, and then you're playing Bournemouth and Norwich who are struggling, who are top of the league. It's the best, one of the best leagues in the world. This is one of the reasons why.
Yeah.
Predictions, very quick predictions before we go. Ben.
1-1.
Positive. Michael.
I got my last Saturday one bang on. I said 2-1 Millers. I'm with 2-1 Millers again.
Why not? I'm going to go 2-0 Millers. I'm going to have some positivity. I think you're right, Mick, what you mentioned earlier. If QPR playing a similar way to us, the confidence we've got at the minute, I think we'll be able to exploit some spaces. I think our defence, Charlie Austin's good, but Woody, if you just said to Woody, right, he's your man, he'll stay with you, he'll do that job.
Yeah.
That's kind of what Woody's meant for, to sort of thing. He seems to enjoy that battle, doesn't he?
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Cool. So thank you all for listening. We'll be back. There'll be no pre-match show on Saturday. We're just doing a post-match. So if you wonder where we are at 2:15, we'll be getting ready for the game. Hopefully Ben will turn up for this one. Hopefully. So subscribe to YouTube if you haven't already. With this video, this will be on YouTube as well. So if you're listening and you want to watch it instead, go over there. If you're watching and you think you prefer to listen to it, go on iTunes, Spotify, subscribe there and download it. Make sure you follow us on Twitter and Facebook so you can see all the stuff we put out and any updates. We will be going through a little bit of a rebranding towards the end of the season. So the name will change, but it'll stay the same for the time being. And we'll update people as and when, just so you don't lose us, don't miss anything.
It makes us sound professional.
Correct. Just changing his name doesn't sound right good. We're going through a rebranding. It sounds much more professional.
Yeah. We're going to change our values and our corporate slogan, and basically we're going to have a
restructure.
Restructure. Yeah, we're going to alter where cameras are. I think Ben's going to go top left next time, and then Matt down bottom and me top right. I think that's the restructure.
Yeah, freshen things up. But that'll be towards the end of the season, so it's not. I don't know why I mentioned it really. Ben, it's been a pleasure having you with us. I'm sure your fans were happy with your performance tonight. And Mick, it's been a pleasure as always.
Thank you very much.
And we'll see you all on Saturday evening for the post-match. If not, we'll see you Monday for the review and preview. Oh, we are doing a watch-along for the Bournemouth game next week. Me and Mick are, Ben, depends if you can skip that.
I might be there for the first half, yeah. Oh, it's a kick-off for that half. Yeah. I'll watch the first half.
We're still working out the logistics of that, to be honest, but that's the plan. So the idea is you don't have to listen to Lee Hendry or whoever's on co-commentary for Sky Sports. But we'll keep you updated on that next week or so.
If you do want to, obviously, we can still provide you with the same plucky little Rotherham nonsense here on Sky.
Every so often, I'll just go with, the Wreck-It game really well and that type of thing, just every so often.
Bit direct, aren't they?
Bit direct, yeah. Or the big and physical.
Oh, very aggressive.
Yeah, well... but yeah, we'll let you know about that in the next week or so. So thank you all, and forget involved everything else. Support and see you all.
Ravel, ambitious, but brilliant! I don't believe it! I swear I do not believe it!